Okay, here you go. I'm going to say this now, and I know this is hard for me to say, but y'all need to hear me out. And I'm going to be honest. When I was forced by 7 Times Murdery, which was actually a group of young men who were aspiring to be cutters that I ended up working with as a cutter at Acme, and it was crammed into yet another gutter group that I wasn't going to have anything part with. The film I saw of the history of the Jost in Europe and the Lutherans was horrible. That's why I took the filthy rag last week and tossed it out the window. That's the way the Jost would take the most holy, innocent, sexy, lovey, ideal, icon females. And I swear to God, I know I keep saying the name Scarlett Johansson, but she is the epitome for our country. She's the icon. What he just admitted. And especially she's European royalty. I'm just going to say it. And the worst thing was there were a lot of her peoples and ancestors that were murdered. The Jost murdered tens of thousands of these women, and they would have a before picture and an after picture. Before, she looked like that. Afterwards, she looked like a filthy mag. Everyone. What's the problem? The women weren't doing anything wrong. Every time a woman was brought forward, it was some petty shit that the man could have just let her dealt with. And they let the Jost brutalize and murder. They were literally letting these demons that are destined to the abyss of complete condemnation wipe out the superior seat of Europe. They wiped out the seat of Charlemagne. All the picking, I don't even want to say vetting, I like to say it, but all the searching Charlemagne did to get all the finest women, if you know his history, and breeding to have the best seed, the Jost wiped them out, basically. Yeah, they destroyed the Holy Roman Empire. Did you know that? Easy queer. That Sri Lakshmi says, I'll easily be queer rather than do anything with these. If that was all they had for angels to have sex with, she's like, I'm out. I'm queer. I'm not doing nothing with that. Heck no. That's why the U.S. government had her killed. How it happened? Nuclear warhead into a portal. I saw it happen, and it was on film. Actually, was sat down with the military, told me, screw you, nigger, and give shit, because the Joes told him to do it. Okay. Basically, this is what I'm telling you, Jost, whatever. And the sad thing is, Luther and the Germans gave the easy queer this some exalted name, and Jost is like hero. So basically, they pulled the bullshit ruse to the hilt and the nonsense, as if these women were trying to fight them in the first place. Women being the enemy. Okay, so like Jost is like the superhero, like the Ubermensch, like he saved us from the woman. And the way that it was horrible that these women that should have been treated like this sort of fetish, that the Jost, and the way the Jost would destroy these women that were right, and that thing should have been. There was not one woman that was destroyed and harmed by the Jost that was in any way justified being harmed. So it put egregious doom on Germany and Europe. In America, you share the same shame because you learn from that nonsense demonism, the way you treat us blacks and the women, and this is doom, damnation, judgment. Those demons will be your strange burn fellows in pain oblivion. God's not fooled by you men's histrionic horseshit. Every single murder of that woman was the murder of an innocent, superior seed European woman of absolute par excellence by a bunch of pathetic men who weren't willing to take responsibility for anything. So they just blamed the women for everything, and it deems women along with it. And I hate this. As much as I resented how badly I got treated by so many good women, because of what it came from, I understand. I swear to God, you ladies, I understand. I swear to God. When I remember now, because it took a long time, I'm 55, finally putting everything together, remembering how heartlessly and brutally tens of thousands of these absolutely superior seed European women were murdered by these Josts. I've seen it on film. The woman would be like the dream of dreams. When the Josts were done with her, she looked like a rotten dead fish that had just been sitting out in the market for 2 days. They literally were doing this to these women. And then they were putting these women in the most brutal disgracefulness as death. And the men put up with this shit just because they weren't willing to be nothing. They were pathetic. They were pathetic. So we started the same pathetic mess over here with the Masons and the nonsense, and the way the men are. It's like, y'all want to do everything but the right thing, okay? So this is what I have suffered like hell to condemn chauvinism, okay? So the men have cock-blocked me, and the men have really cock-blocked because they don't want me to dominate, because then they all have to do right. The men don't want to do this. They want the easy coochie, okay? Yeah, the easy queer. Yeah, I don't care if she turns gay or not. I'm just going to get laid, you know? Basically, yeah, okay, easy queer, you know? I'll make you gay real easy. You get with me. I could care less. I just want to use like a bowl of porridge, shot of liquor, you know, shot of ass. I could care less. You know, he didn't quit it. You know, that's not my problem, hun. These men are easy queers now. It's like y'all all follow the Jost. And see, but and the worst thing is the name Jost is like this exalted, glorified name. Like he's a superhero, Ubermensch. It literally means like a Ubermensch. It's a demon from the abyss. But you men in Europe and Lutherans exalted this evil stuff. And so that's why, and the big reason why Europe became so liberal with the women. Why? Because the women knew that at the end of the day, that there was going to be a horrible price to pay if you didn't give up the booty, and the men weren't happy. Yeah, you would have a demon from the abyss come out and hump and rape you, and then rip your colon out so he can't have an orgasm, and explode all over you, and then pick you up, and you could be the most beautiful, perfect woman in the world. By the time this Jost came finished with you, you look like a stinking, rotten, dead fish. And then he would just and then the way the Jost would toss the women away with such absolute contempt was absolutely horrifying. I could not believe you Europeans tolerated that crap. Y'all better repent, or you men in Europe could end up being tossed in the abyss. And I swear to God, if this planet doesn't one for one make it up to the females and the women on this planet for what you have let these demons do and teach you, when y'all deserve this planet and you men to do it. And if you women encourage it, if God throws you in the abyss, like you'll do these women like a piece of poop, like a stinking diaper. That's the way she would, the demon would toss the woman away like she was a contemptible like a stinking piece of poop. A demon that doesn't even belong on our planet, that should be in the abyss. I mean, it was such outrageous shit. And the fact that the guys would try to excuse that, I was like, I'm not going to have nothing to do with you people. They literally forced me to watch this horrible film. I'm glad I saw it because I can tell you the truth. The roots of the disrespect of women is in the most disgusting worship. And you men were letting the most beautiful women be trashed by the most filthy, rotten demons. And so the piece of shit took the gold and turned her into shit in front of you. So then he looks like gold. And then you see it over and over again. You start believing the filthy lie. So, okay, so you exalt the stinking piece of crap demon like he's 24 karat gold. And you know what? It's like magic. It happens. So then, by the time the woman's dead, she looks like a piece of shit. And so it makes the Jost look like a piece of gold. This is what the Germans and Lutherans started, and it spread. It's a stinking disease, okay? It's Mothrot, okay? It's Ichabod, it's Contumelia, it's sinister. The way these women getting treated is sinister, okay? I'm glad I held out, because before I have any part in what was done in this film, I'll suffer forever, okay? I don't give a fuck. But I will not be any part of what I saw, the so-called Jost demon, which is really what Sri Lakshmi called them, the easy queers. Okay? Now, she said, I'll easily be queer before I touch that fucking thing. Oh, hell no. Shit, no. Sri Lakshmi's like, fuck no. Guess what? Killed her for that. They didn't forget, because she cold bust them, the original Fly Girl. God bless Sri Lakshmi's memory. God bless Sri Lakshmi. She lives forever, because that was my ace. Okay? But as I said, I'm going to stop. I gotta eat, but I'm gonna tell you the truth about that stuff. But remember in that film, even though you women, even in the course, had cold butts and was harsh on me, for the ones that was reactionary, for real, I can't really be mad at you. Because that film I saw that tells how the roots of how mistreating of women and how it literally ruined the chivalrous spirit of Europe. It ruined it and it convoluted it. It was like it was like the men that didn't want to be chivalrous came out like, we just gonna ruin this. You know, we just gonna roll, you know. I mean, talk about that. If you saw those films, that dishonorable way those women got treated by those demons, those Jost demons, and the way they looked when they died, the demons deliberately went out of their way to completely degrade the way these, and you could tell they were just envious ass, no good demons that should have been in the abyss. But you men have them you're worshiping them like they're better than God, while they trash your finest women and decimate the superior seed of the whole planet. You men need to fucking go. I hope God puts every man that will tolerate them demons in the abyss with those demons. Because I hope he just takes y'all out of here. I pray to God that y'all have an early death in a very short life. Because I don't want to live in a world and continue to tolerate men that pathetic that they're willing to do something like that to our fine women. Because then in the end, they're all gone. So guess what we're going to have? Now we're turning into a world of what? Empty sea where there should be pretty women and we got a bunch of squid flying around here. Because your man was already a squid. So I guess y'all all happy because y'all squid. So you just want women squid. So y'all all Squidwards. Mr. and Mrs. Squidward, okay? I ain't into that. Okay, but y'all just wanted Squidwards. I'm not Squidward. Okay, so I'm freaking out. But you men need to fucking grow a pair of balls and stop being such pathetic chauvinists and start being real men and being chivalrous and stop making excuses for hating women. Stop making excuses for dogging women out. Stop making excuses. Be man enough, balls up, and toughen up and stop being a lot of bitches. Okay? And blaming everything's the fucking woman's fault. Bullshit. Zeus Yahweh, Jehovah Zeus said, in the end, I'm going to put that on you. You can pretend all you want. And the next time I'm going to throw you right in the abyss where you put the woman's honor that you sacrifice with your chauvinism, and I'm going to exalt that woman just like that forever, and she can watch your pathetic ass burn in hell because you didn't have the fucking balls to lift her. I'm going to make sure she's good, and fuck you. Now that's what Jehovah Zeus is telling all you men. When you tell me you can make the bullshit excuse, you need to honor the women. In the end, you'll suffer forever. You think it's hard? Wait till you go to eternity because you refuse to honor women in this life. Okay? In the name of Jesus, I'm done with that.